Okay, hey guys, this is Mark, and another quickie live video here. And I wanted to briefly talk about the 9 temperaments of ASD. This is what I run into most often in counseling individuals and couples, the neurodiverse couple. And this is not to say that neurotypicals don't have some of these traits as well. And by the way, even though I'm going to talk about these different temperaments, this is not a put down or an insult. This is not trying to make you have to be a bad person or whatever, of course not. It is a way to suggest that you may want to look at yourself and maybe challenge yourself to deal with some of the issues that you may or may not want to improve upon. So, the 9 temperaments of ASD level 1 as I see them. So we have the distruster, the disconnector, the magical thinker. I'm making these terms up, by the way. The mood swinger, the I know better than you thinker, the mind-blind individual, the avoider, the clinger, and the obsessor. So these are my terms. I know they may be kind of odd terms. So let's look at the distruster, the distruster. This individual believes that his spouse or her spouse is trying to do harm in some way, doubts the loyalty of the spouse, has a habit of holding grudges, hesitates to confide in the spouse for fear that the spouse will use that information against them, lacks trust and is suspicious of the spouse and the reasons for the spouse's actions. We're talking about the neurotypical spouse's actions. Often suspects that the neurotypical spouse or sexual partner is unfaithful with no reason to feel that way, and takes innocent remarks or situations that are not threatening as personal insults or attacks. Okay, does that sound like you? The disconnector, this is the second one. This person almost always chooses to be alone. He or she appears to be cold to or not interested in his spouse. This individual cannot pick up on typical social cues, does not take pleasure in most activities outside of his special interest, has little to no interest in having sex, and is limited in how emotions are expressed. Okay, the third one is I'm just going to call him the magical thinker. This individual has magical thinking, which is the belief that his or her thoughts can affect events. Also, he or she believes that other people are thinking the same thing that they are. This individual will tend to get lost in his inner world a lot, and he may believe that some casual incidents or events have hidden messages. Okay, next, the mood swinger. This person has a strong fear of being alone or abandoned. This person has ongoing feelings of emptiness. This individual has up and down moods, often due to stress when interacting with his or her spouse. This individual is often very angry and sees self as being unable or weak. Okay? Next, the I know better than you thinker. This individual does not understand the needs and feelings of the spouse, expects constant praise, wants to be admired, expects favors and advantages without a good reason, feels superior and brags about it, has beliefs about being special and more important than the spouse, can take advantage of the spouse, and tends to stretch the truth about achievements or talents. Okay? I know this sounds very stereotyping. It's not meant to be stereotyping. It is made for you to think about some areas of challenge that you may want to look at. The mind-blind person is next. This person has little concern for the needs or feelings of the spouse, can be aggressive, has little concern for personal safety or the safety of children or spouse, behaves impulsively, is often reckless, and has little regret on how his or her behavior negatively affects others. Next, the avoider. And by the way, I'm just making these terms up because they kind of encapsulate the traits associated with the particular temperament. So the avoider does not feel good enough, does not like to take part in activities that include the spouse, does not like to try new activities, does not like meeting new people, fears disapproval, can be extremely shy in social situations, is often isolated, and is very sensitive to criticism or rejection. Okay, next is the clinger. The clinger. This individual finds it hard to start or do projects due to lack of self-confidence. This person can be submissive towards his or her neurotypical spouse. Person lacks confidence in abilities, needs a lot of advice and comforting from spouse to make even small decisions, relies on the spouse too much, feels the need to be taken care of. And again, I'm not saying that neurotypicals don't have some of these traits. They certainly do, but we're talking about the person with ASD right now. And the last one I'm calling the obsessor. This individual can't finish a project because reaching perfection is not possible. He can't throw away broken or worthless objects, focuses too much on details, orderliness, and rules. He holds very tight control over budgeting and spending money. He may ignore family and enjoyable activities because of too much focus on work or a particular project. He can be very rigid and stubborn, needs to be in control of others and family members, tasks, situations, and so on. Thinks everything needs to be perfect and gets upset when perfection is not achieved. So again, as I have experienced working with people on the spectrum and their spouses, this is a very general description of the temperaments that I've witnessed. The distruster, the disconnector, the magical thinker, the mood swinger, the I know better than you thinker, the mind-blind individual, the avoider, the clinger, and the obsessor. I don't mean to be sarcastic or stereotyping, but I do want to describe some of the traits of these particular temperaments with the hope that you will have the confidence to come to the conclusion that, yeah, maybe, you know what, I have probably some of these traits in this particular category, and I think I could use a little improvement there. So it's just purely for your own edification, and hopefully will result in your willingness to maybe take a look at some areas of improvement. Okay, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the comments below. Thanks.